This is the Relevant Podcast.
It's episode 1082, and it's the Relevant Podcast. Here in Orlando, I'm your host, Cameron Strang, and joining me from Loverland, Virginia, is Jesse Carey.
Hello, hello.
From Nashville, Tennessee, artist, producer, mogul, Derek Miner.
What's happening? What's happening?
Dude, we're glad to have you back. We missed you the last couple shows.
I missed y'all.
No, you didn't. Don't lie.
I didn't. I was in Malibu.
He's like, honestly, you guys did not cross my mind one time. But
Not one time.
Here we are.
He was anyway. And down the street there in Nashville, our very own downtown Emily Brown.
Hey, y'all.
He was in LA celebrating like love and
As he
music, and he
being being one of our generation's great artists, while we were, just here, recording these hijinks for literally over the 1,000th time. So,
For sure.
if you want to know what you missed, just go listen to anything in the last about a decade and a half of
15
archives,
years,
and you'll get the gist. Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm afraid to know what y'all were talking about while I was gone. Like Independence Day going up. I know something about fireworks came up. There had to be something about fireworks.
Well, we did our game that we do every year, indie band or fireworks. So is it a rock band name or a firework name? Who did win? It wasn't Jesse. Jesse lost.
I think
Jamie won.
Jamie won.
Jamie, I know. Yeah.
She knows her rock bands,
Yes.
Yeah.
Jesse was kind of struggling. I
was.
Hey, Jesse,
I was.
what's going on, bro?
I think I was too close to it. It was like the game had evolved since it would be like watching someone from like the Bob Cousy era take the court, against like Trae Young and Steph Curry. It's just
oh man, she's flambéed you like that.
The game has just evolved. I'm taking underhanded free throws, and she's out there jacking up threes from half court. The game evolves right under me.
So hey, programming note: we're recording this on a weird time. You're listening on Friday. We're recording this Thursday morning. Why am I saying that? Number one, if we sound tired and loopy, it's first thing in the morning. Number two, this morning is when Threads launched. Have you guys partook yet with the new texting chat
Can I
app,
tell you why?
Threads?
Can I tell you why? I will join Threads
Tell me.
or stay on Twitter based on the outcome of the fist fight between Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg. If Zuckerberg wants my business, he needs to physically beat up Elon Musk. That's the era we live in.
it.
Whoever wants my social media business will win a fist fight. That's my take.
Y'all, we are living in the twilight zone.
Tell me.
When two of the richest men on the planet
Warren
are
Buffett
staging
and
No, but think about, okay, let's run that back. Now imagine Warren Buffett versus Walt Disney.
or Saudi
And
Sheik
they're
or
like,
something.
yo.
Yeah.
Right, they're like, yo, all right.
David
Let's go
Rockefeller.
Yeah, David Rockefeller and the Vanderbilts. They're like, you know what? Let's go. Let's. We're gonna rent out the Roman Coliseum, and we just gonna slug it out. And you know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine the craziness of that. Like, that's insanity.
I have a theory though. I think here's mine. It's like Zuckerberg was putting L's on the board for like 3 years straight, right? One, he was
A little longer than that.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like fair point, but very like publicly was like, the slow decline of Facebook into just, boomer faux outrage at weird political conspiracies. And then, all of a sudden he's out there. This is where I kind of marked the decline. Okay. It was when he posted that video of himself on the 4th of July a couple years ago.
With
and
the white face of
sunscreen.
caked on sunscreen. He's riding one of those weird those dorky surfboards on top of the water with an American flag. His face has so much sunscreen on it, and he's on that hydrofoil. He looked like a mime from the future. Okay, like he's the richest guy in the world. He should look like the coolest guy in the world. Instead, he looks like this weird nightmare mime. And then he goes all in on Meta and releases what is objectively the most unintentionally hilarious video of our generation, of these little avatars with no legs, like floating into a conference meeting room and trying to sell us $500 VR kits so that we can use a less useful version of the tool we are all using right now, which is essentially like a version of Zoom, right? Like he launched this whole metaverse and told us how this was the future. I gotta be honest. I think I said this a couple weeks ago. I don't even know if it launched. Is Meta
Metaverse?
Is it
The
active?
Metaverse.
Yeah. Are people in there? Like, what's happening? He realized this is just one joke after the other. He's just one butt of a joke. He's like, you know what? I am going to take up fighting, and I'm going to beat up the cool billionaire and reclaim the title. That's my theory. This is all about just trying to get some swag.
Elon actually challenged him now.
Well, that's
Zuck was just chilling, I think, right?
Yeah,
and then
no, that's right. You're right.
Elon challenged him. Yeah.
Yeah, I do not see Zuck being the one to initiate that fight.
But I do think Elon said it in jest. But here's one thing we know about Elon. He cannot back down from even if he says something like as a joke, like maybe I should buy Twitter. He's going to do it. Like you can't hold him to it because I think Elon has lost the ability to distinguish between like his own sarcasm and things that he has legally obligated himself to. I think it's like Twitter. I think he's like, do I legally have to fight Mark Zuckerberg now? But here we are, and I'm in it. I'm in for it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna keep it real, y'all. And I'm just getting back. But y'all know I'm gonna have to go on and start off with a bang. If I was white and that rich, you couldn't. I would not fight nobody. Like, listen. I don't even have like a tenth of the money that either of those guys have. And I'm telling y'all right now, if you come talking crazy to me on the streets, I'm calling the cops. I'll be like, I'm white, I'm rich, bro. Like, what in the world would I want to fight another white and rich guy? This is counterproductive. Can we go eat like some caviar or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like some expensive wine? Like, bro, I am not trying to fight nobody, but I mean, that's just me though. You know, let me know. I mean, y'all hit me up and let me know.
I just think like Elon's been getting so clowned because of how bad Twitter's been going, and he's been taking all the jokes. And then like, I just think like it's just, I don't know, trying to be the man, puff up your alpha chest kind of thing of like, I'm dominant. I'll show you I'm strong. And like, it just like, he's a fool. Like, it's just ridiculous.
I really hope that Mark, this is the thing though, who do you want to win? Because they're both equally obnoxious billionaires in just different ways.
I don't think there's a winner in this case.
You know
it's a weird matchup too, because Elon is tall and large, and he's built like a tree trunk, and Zuck is like 5'8", but he's really good at like martial arts, like Taekwondo type stuff. But he's little, so like, who wins that fight? A little squirrely guy or a big tree trunk guy who's a foot taller?
It's like, but who do you want to win? They both have screwed us over via the algorithms. Like, bro, Meta has destroyed every algorithm that they've ever made, and then Twitter is just a dumpster fire, bro. Like, you wake up one morning, like Elon's like, oh, you can only do 5 tweets today. Like, we're saving on, you know what I mean? I'm like,
gotta save on the power bill at the server farm.
Right. The server is overloaded, guys.
Yeah, you gotta cut back.
You can only do 5 tweets today. You can only read 10 of them. You know what I mean?
Isn't there a movie where there's a boxing thing where like they both punch each other at the exact same time in the jaw and they both get knocked out? Maybe we can root for that.
Yeah,
I'm
is that not in one of the million Rocky movies?
I know I've seen this scene. I don't know where it is, but like it's a simultaneous knockout.
If Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly in the early 2000s made a movie about social networks, this would be the climax of it. Like if Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly got together and was like, you know what, let's run it back. This is like the Flint Tropics. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah,
I'd watch that movie. I'd watch it.
Absolutely,
bro. Please for movie producers, just cut me in. Give me about 5%. Man, go get Will Ferrell. Go get John C. Reilly. And let's run it back, y'all. Let's run it
You
back.
get the soundtrack.
What?
You know they had a falling out. They won't work together anymore.
No.
Yeah, but over that L.A. Showtime show.
Because John C.
Oh,
Reilly
yeah.
took the role of Jerry Buss.
No.
They were both in contention for the role of Jerry Buss in Showtime, but Adam McKay, who's Will Ferrell's longtime collaborator ever since Saturday Night Live when he was head writer and Will Ferrell was kind of the star, didn't tell Will Ferrell that they cast John C. Reilly. Will Ferrell was wholly planning on playing the role of Jerry Buss. And I think Will Ferrell's reaction when told by Adam McKay was, have a nice life. And so either way, Derek, to your point, that would make this fake fight even more interesting.
It would make it better.
Oh, you know what? Hey, how about this? Let's let me make it a movie. Let's make John C. Reilly versus Adam McKay the undercard. Just straight up have them fight. No parody before Zuckerberg as like a warm up.
I like it.
We could probably load the card with celebrity feuds. But here's another idea.
50 Cent and Ja Rule. We got to get that. That has to happen. That's the undercard. John C. Reilly and Will Ferrell is the opening.
Who would you take, Derek? Who would you take?
Oh, come on, man. I'm taking 50, bruh.
John looked pretty ripped. John looked pretty ripped when he was doing the Fire Island deal.
I ain't gonna lie. I think John's actually in better shape than 50. Like we remember the Super Bowl upside down 50. We was like, dog, don't do that ever again. Like, bro,
to be fair, that's not flattering to anyone. It's a lot of blood rushing to the face, swelling it up a little.
Again. When you was 22, that was awesome. You 42, so you just don't do that. But anyhow, yeah, I think 50. I think Ja might have them hands, bro, but here's the thing. Ja seems to be a part of a lot of stuff that never works out in his favor. So I think that's the reason why I'm going to go with 50.
So we're going with 50.
It's not physical. It's just like, man, there's like an aura of bad luck around him. And it's just like, man, I don't know if you're going to be able to beat that one, dog. I don't know if you could beat karma, whatever that is that's kicking your butt.
It's true. Ja Rule needs a new manager and life coach. Like, it's true. You're right. Like, he's had a string of like, really? Yeah.
Here's my suggestion for Zuckerberg and Elon. Let's raise the stakes. The winner has to fight Tom from MySpace. And if Tom wins, he takes it all. And we go back to when social media was good and pure. And Tom taught a whole generation like basic HTML coding just accidentally. You know, there was no maliciousness. The most political thing on MySpace was you had to publicly show who your top 8 friends were. That was the height of controversy back then. Let's get Tom back in the mix and have him fight the winner. Winner take all. They get the keys to all social media. I think that would be the best outcome for
I'm
everyone.
good with that because I do miss MySpace. I mean, I was in middle school, so the whole top 8 thing that really did have a big impact on the, you know, social dynamics of middle school, which are already complex. But I'd be down to go back to MySpace. I miss spending far too much time, like when in the HTML code, making my page look cute and sparkly and stuff. And like, I'd rather waste time doing that than doom scrolling threads and Twitter every day. I feel like that's a better use of my time on the internet.
Exactly. Like, you know, the modern generation has Figma. We had CSS by MySpace, man. It was like, we're going to teach you to code just so you get this dope glittery backdrop and you get a, you know, MXPX song to play when people jump on the page. It was simpler times, you know?
Yeah, it was much simpler for sure.
But that's what, when you're in threads, because I was in it this morning before we got on, quite a while, just kind of, you know, seeing the lay of the land, reading what people are putting. It felt like 2009 Twitter. It's so stripped down. There's no, you know, ads. There's no, you know, multiple options. There's no hashtags. There's no this. There's nothing. None of the functionality of current Twitter. None of it. And it's literally a far worse Twitter. But people love it just because Elon's not involved. Yeah. And so it just feels like this early days of social media, like purity. It's interesting watching the dynamic right now.
Zuckerberg is played chess this time. Now, this time I could say he was like, you know what? It's time to win. He's like, when are we going to launch this? We're going to launch this stripped down version of this app. We don't care because that limit that Elon did.
Yeah, that happened on Monday.
Yeah,
this is 4 days later.
It was like,
4 days later.
Bet, run it.
Launch. For real.
He said, run it, man.
It looks like it because it is really basic looking. So I mean, I know that there's been a lot of planning in it, but there is a part of me that's like, I wonder if they did just go ahead and launch it because they were like, this is the lowest Twitter's at right now.
I'm confident they did.
That's what happened.
I'm confident they did. That's what I would have did.
Because like Facebook is notorious over the years for like ripping off other social media apps. Remember they launched a Snapchat competitor that they shut down 3 months later.
Yeah.
Then this one I feel is different because everybody hates Elon so much or hates Twitter so much right now. I think this one has a chance to actually get some traction.
And the integration with your Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah,
people like it's
easy to have a following right away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Somewhere the Winklevoss twins are like, we told you he's stealing ideas. We told you.
Right.
I need a sequel about them. I need to know how they're feeling 15 years after.
Let them fight.
But we don't want Armie Hammer to play the role again.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if you guys, I know we got a lot to talk about today, but I don't know if you guys are watching that American Gladiators doc on
I watched the whole thing, dude. I thought of you the entire time.
Of course, I'm going to fire that up night one, right?
Right.
But let's do, but why don't we just morph this and have them do like billionaires doing American Gladiator type of competitions? Like, I get that, I get the MMA, but I don't know if you've ever, it's like when you watch Celebrity Jeopardy, it's really fun on paper, but then when they're really terrible at answering trivia, it's unwatchable. They're not going to be landing blows. Fighting someone who doesn't want to get hit is really hard. It takes a lot of skill to fight. It's going to be unwatchable. It's like when you watch like celebrity golf. It's fun on paper, but when you watch it in execution, they're just blasting balls.
You watch Charles Barkley do the worst. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's like he's
like every hit, you just lose a little bit more respect for them.
Yeah, I don't want to see you struggle like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Put Elon in the unitard and put Zuck behind that tennis ball cannon and just let's hash it out the old school way.
I like it.
I like that. I like that. All right. Well, we have a great show in store for you. Coming up, we talked to Social Club Misfits. They have an incredible new album out. You're going to hear it on the show today. I can't wait. We also have your feedback at the end. And right now, stay tuned. Up next, it's Relevant Buzz.
I'm setting it up, setting it up for the ones and for us. Just make me an offer. I'm setting it up, setting it up for you. When you're in the park with another friend, or you're in the mall, you have conversations to the bar, or the huddled house to the mall. You come to me, visions on visions of prophecy. Chalk it all up.
You're listening to Jive Talk. The song is Trash Can Heart. Today's podcast is brought to you in part by Mercy Ships. Globally, 5 billion people lack access to surgical care. In sub-Saharan Africa, there's only one surgeon for every 200,000 people. Mercy Ships provides free, life-transforming surgeries for people who have little to no access to medical care. They help the blind see, straighten twisted limbs, remove deadly tumors, treat cleft conditions, and so much more. With state-of-the-art hospital ships, they provide safe surgery to children and adults living with treatable conditions, and it's completely free of charge. They do all this work with an all-volunteer crew of professionals who donate their time and talents. Surgeons, stewards, nurses, engineers, and more make the world a better place. Your donation today provides free, safe surgeries to people in desperate need of help. All gifts are matched, so please donate today at mercyships.org/relevant. Okay, it's time for
Relevant Buzz.
What's happening at the intersection of faith and culture this week, Emily?
Quite possibly the most exciting news I've ever brought to Buzz.
What?
Yeah, I know. Here's the thing. It's the most exciting news to me, and no matter what y'all say, it will still be the most exciting news to me. So that's how I'm prefacing
Taylor
this.
Swift added 14 days to her European tour. That's it.
Well, that doesn't impact me because I'm not flying to Europe. Unless someone wants to pay for my plane ticket and Eras Tour ticket, please DM me on Threads.
Let's get it.
No, the exciting news is that Netflix has officially announced that Greta Gerwig will write and direct 2 Chronicles of Narnia films. So a couple years ago, Netflix announced that they were going to create this Narnia cinematic universe, and they have done absolutely nothing since then. Just kind of dragging their feet, which to me and all the other fellow Narnian fans kind of hurts. But they're finally making progress, and they announced this week that Greta Gerwig will be a part of 2 of the movies. We don't know which book she's adapting, but Greta Gerwig, trust her with adaptations for the rest of my life. She did a great job with Little Women, and she's doing this summer's Barbie, which just everything about this upcoming Barbie movie seems like it's going to be the like film of the year. The amount of promo they've done for this movie, I really have never seen anything like it. It's insane. But she's just going to go all out. You know, she's not going to make it like a bad adaptation. I really think she's going to do a good job. So I'm personally really excited about this. This has been kind of
she's writing it and directing it, right?
She's writing and directing it. Yeah.
Here's my question though, is because like the Barbie movie seems extremely meta. It seems like tonally making fun of Barbie more than sort of, you know, and like having this kind of like very surrealist approach to the concept of toys that offer like an idealistic, like an unhealthy idealistic look at fashion and body image and a kind of this dreamscape of a world that, you know, seems to have kind of some sharp elbows, right? Like when you watch the trailers, you know, even like it's sort of like sexual politics seem to be pretty evident. Is she going to take the same approach with Narnia, or is it going to be straight up like we already have straight up Narnia movies? Like, didn't we have them like within our generation, just like straightforward adaptation of C.S. Lewis, like by Walden and Disney? That was just, here is the book on film. Is she going to take some kind of weird sideways approach to this? Do we know?
Well, I hope there's no sexual politics in Narnia. That would be weird. Like,
yeah,
sir.
That's the thing. We don't know how she's going to take it, but I think a really good example is her adaptation of Little Women, which has been adapted like a bunch of times. But the way she took it is like, she does really well telling coming of age stories. And that is essentially what Narnia is. It's these kids growing up in this world, trying to figure out who they are, who they want to be. And so I do think we're going to get some strong, like, I mean, it is Greta, so she's going to bring some feminist angle, I'm sure. So there's going to be some strong female monologues, I'm assuming, from Susan and Lucy if she adapts the Pevensey children. But I think a lot of people are nervous because she's not like an outspoken Christian by any means. So I think a lot of people are nervous that she's going to take some of like the spiritual allegory out of it. But I mean, you cannot take the spiritual allegory out of Narnia. That it is, you have to fundamentally change the entire story if you're going to do that. And I think she honors the spirits of stories really well, like Little Women and even Barbie. I think Barbie is like, it does have this self-awareness. It seems to have this self-awareness that I think really works. And I think that's what she's going to do with Narnia, is not take it and make fun of it, but just really elevate it and just make it maybe the best film of the century. Is that too soon to say?
I think so. I think probably. Maybe
if you can't tell, I do have some high hopes for this adaptation.
Here's the deal. If she gets a Tolkien adaptation, I want to see Peter Jackson's take on Barbie next. I
don't know if the world's ready for that.
All right. What else you got?
Okay. Bringing down the mood a little bit.
Great.
Sorry, you got to preface it. You know, we're not going to keep talking about Emily Brown's favorite things.
So the first one, you prefaced it with the most exciting news in the history of Buzz. And then the second one is, okay, now it's a downer. Okay.
I probably should have clarified it was the most exciting news in the history of Emily Brown.
You're like putting together an album. You start with a hit, and then you do a ballad, and then you come back. Yeah. I like it. Right.
Yeah. So here's the ballad. Last week, the Supreme Court officially decided to block Joe Biden's student loan debt relief plan. So one of his campaign promises was that he would eliminate student debt. He's been working on it for years, been trying to, there's been a lot of student loan pauses for the last couple of years since the pandemic. He was hoping to make it permanent. not going to happen. So student loans will have to be paid back. Hate to be the bearer of bad news in case you hadn't heard that yet, but please don't ignore your student loans.
Derek, what are your thoughts on this? I'm curious, like, because you a big part of your platform is talking about finances and, ownership and debt and making money. What do you think? What did you think about the idea of forgiving student loans, and what do you think about now that that's not going to happen?
Oh man, you about to get me in trouble.
Let's hear it.
Come on, tell me.
My personal opinion, and this is, my personal opinion was you had to be pretty a little delusional to think that the government was going to pay your student loans off. Yeah, because they're not going to pay nothing else off. They're not like it's like right. I can understand in principle the idea of saying, man, the loan system is messed up, but it's the same reason why, they're not going to retroactively say, well, hey, the loan system was messed up 20 years ago and you took a loan, so now we're going to pay them off today. They're going to their perspective would be, or most people's perspective would be, you fully knew what you was getting into on the front end. You used the loan money, and because you didn't go to school for or you didn't finish school or whatever, there's no reason for us to wipe that debt away. Because that's not you willingly got the loan. You know what I'm saying? You willingly went into it.
That kid, that 18-year-old kid, 19-year-old kid is sitting there like needing to register for school, obviously doesn't have cash for it.
Right.
The only option is, well, here's a quick and easy student loan, sign here and you're enrolled, right? And then they're going, okay, well, I took out $70,000 of student loans. Oh my gosh, okay, well, everybody else did too. And now they owe $350,000,
right.
You know what I mean? Or something crazy. It was incredibly predatory. And so I see the reason for saying like, hey, we need to call a mulligan on the entire system. It's broken. And the government's philosophy, the Democrats' philosophy was similar to the PPP loans of like, hey, we're going to give you this money to keep people employed, to keep money going through the economy, i.e. we'll pay off your student loans. So then that $1,000 monthly payment you're making will get reinvested back into the economy long term. Long term, ultimately, the government sees it as a boost. But my thing to you, why I agree with your pessimism about it, of like, this will never happen when I heard about it, is like, it's not fair. What about the people who paid off their loans? What do they get? What about the people,
well, they could be reimbursed, actually.
Okay. Interesting.
My issue is not even the fairness of, this is the thing. There is what's fair, and then there's what's fair, and then there's what is going to happen in reality. Right? You know what I'm saying? What's fair, if we're gonna be honest, and maybe this is just for me being a minority, but if we're gonna be honest, what's fair is to pay reparations to Black people. Like that's what's fair if we being real. But the reality is it's not happening. Like literally, if we want to talk about fair, that's fair. You want to know what else is fair? Hey, people shouldn't be able to just say, whatever they want to say and say all types of racist and awful things to people. Like what's fair is that you should make people stand behind their word. You know what I'm saying? But that's not the truth. Like that's not a reality of how our system is built. And I think we just have a utopian idea of America as if you could just print money and delete money out of nowhere and nobody has to be held responsible for it. And that's just not the reality. So, and the crazy part about financial things like this, where the loans are predatory and all of that, you don't even realize what's happening until 10, 15 years later.
Yeah,
that's right.
Even the government doesn't even realize what's happening until 15 years later, in my opinion, because I feel like there's smart people that use the system to its advantage. Like a prime example, or maybe some of the people in the government benefit from the predatory loans. You know what I'm saying? Like when you think about, I always go back to what Donald Trump said, and I never thought I would be quoting this man like that, like here in this time. But y'all remember in the debate where they were bringing up this taxes, and he was like, they were like, yo, you didn't pay no tax money, whatever. And he said, you absolutely correct. And neither did y'all. And on top of that, if you want things to change the tax codes. That's what he said.
Right.
What he was doing was calling out the hypocrisy of how the system is built. You know what I'm saying? And in my mind, I just don't see the government saying, all right, well, look, all y'all are in debt now. we'll wipe it clean. Same thing with the housing crisis. It was people that bought that got loans to houses in 2008. They should have never had them. They should have never had those loans. Those were predatory loans. But the government didn't come in and say, all right, everybody, we wiping out mortgages because of bad loans. It's what's fair and then it's what's reality. And I just didn't see that as a reality.
The conservative administration in the early 2000s actually changed some banking laws to allow these junk loans to be had, and then the economy collapsed a decade later.
Exactly.
But I'm surprised. I want to ask you something about your take about the student loans thing, because liberals are especially upset about this because the predatory interest and like not being able to get out of these loans is especially hurting kind of more the working class, the teachers, minorities, people who have less advantage to be able to have a high paying salary to pay it off more aggressively. So it's almost like it's creating even more of a wealth gap. The people who can afford to get a job to pay off their loans and the people who can't afford to pay off their loans, they're stuck in debt for the rest of their lives. And can't get a leg up, can't buy a house, all those things. I'm actually surprised that you're not like talking about the injustice of that.
Well, and I'll say this, the reason why I'm not talking about the injustice, now here's the thing, those predatory loans that's an injustice. I'm not talking about what should happen. I'm a deal in reality as to who paid. Like, you don't just wipe debt off. Someone pays for it. So the question is going to be, who pays for it? And I'm like, there are much more noble things that the government should be paying off. They're not finna pay that off. If they're not gonna give reparations to people that they enslaved, why in the world you think they're gonna pay your student loans off? Like, but we got plenty of money to go blow up a third world country. We got plenty of money to go, you know what I'm saying? But it's just the priorities of America. Like, America doesn't have priorities that says the people in the country should benefit most from the country, that the mass majority of people should benefit most in the country. I'm just a realist. It's not that I don't think that, hey, my wife is right now tangled up. She's a pharmacist. My wife is right now tangled up in a ridiculous student loan. Like, you can't buy a house in Nashville. If only people that could buy houses in Nashville are people that made a lot of money in a big city and are downsizing or coming to a place where you have better tax codes and you've made a lot of equity. But the person coming straight out of college, you're not buying no house in Nashville unless you got a great situation, right? So is that fair? No, that's not fair. Everyone should be able, like, when you go back and look at the roaring 20s, a guy working at a mechanic wife could be at home and they could live off of one income. So do I want that? Hell yeah, I want that. But is it a reality? No, it's not a reality. So it's not that I'm not pushing back against something that I'm just like, that's not realistic. Like, I don't see America operating in that way. So I look at it as more of a pessimism of the country saying, okay, well, let me prioritize the common person in this country. Like, I just don't see that as a priority for America, which is a shame because it's our country.
And I think that pragmatic view obviously has a lot of validity, and I think there are things I hear kind of on both sides of the kind of debate. But I think the other kind of dissidence that is observable here is there is a sect that is becoming increasingly vocal, whether you want to kind of label it like Christian nationalism or but people who say we should be our government should reflect biblical principles, and particularly on specific moral issues. This is one that the Bible. Again, I'm not making any comment about the pragmatism or reality of consequences of this, policy. But I'm saying just from the strict perspective of what would the Bible instruct us to do, the year of Jubilee was the law in Israel, that debts were wiped away, no questions asked, every 7 years.
Amen.
If you held debt, it was washed away. That is a deeply, deeply biblical principle. Jesus even said, if you loan people money, don't charge them interest. Like, that's the teachings of Christ. And so, like, you can't unmarry that from any other like policy issue that people will use the Bible to prop up, especially when it comes to what are kind of moral and social issues, right? Like, oh, the government, this is what the Bible says, this is what we should do. Well, this is one issue that doesn't comfortably fit in partisan lines, but we do have a pretty clear biblical example of how when God was governing a nation, when he was dictating the laws of Israel, he said, debt holders, all debt are wiped free every 7 years, no questions asked, don't complain about it. You know what I mean? And
I'll take it even further, Jesse, going along those lines. That's what I'm saying. It's not about what I believe is fair or right. It's just what I think America will do. But when you talk about those same lines, you're not supposed to you were supposed to not glean from the edge of your field.
Yeah.
So that means you're supposed to leave all of the produce on the edges of your fields out for guess what?
10%.
The poor. For
immigrants and the poor.
For the bums that people would say, go get a job on the street. Y'all like, oh, you bum, you drug addict. Yeah, God said leave 10% of your field for them to be able to eat off of. So in today's world, it's like, oh, no, God loves those who help themselves. That's not what the law says. It says he actually commissioned the rich to take care of the poor. Like, at least make sure they got some food in their belly. Like, that's like by law, that's what you were supposed to do, right? But that's not how America is built. America is built that the rich get richer and the poor stay poor, and it's built off of classism. That's how this works. So the idea that the rich are gonna say, oh man, yeah, you made a mistake with a student loan 20 years ago, oh yeah, we're gonna take our money and they don't even want to pay any taxes. Like, why would they pay for everybody's student loans? I don't see it.
Jesse, I think it's interesting you brought up the biblical concept of Jubilee and the year of Jubilee and debt forgiveness, because if you remember, it was applied in the real world in 2000 when Bono, or 2003, four, I think, when Bono and other leaders were advocating world governments, including the U.S., to have a year of Jubilee motion to forgive all the debt that the African nations had, because we had been funding and loaning all these African nations money that they had to repay, and that money was leaving Africa. So those countries were stuck in a poverty state because of the loans. And so they were advocating that the global powers forgive the loans, and they did, and it helped boost so many African nations. And it's like the countries just said, okay, fine, you don't have to pay us back, and but it took people like Bono and others like creating a conversation and awareness about the need. And like, we can choose to do this,
right?
Like, of course it's not in our best interest to do it, but it is for the best interest of humanity, and it's the right thing to do. And so ultimately a lot of governments did, and it was cool to see.
Bro, we are accidentally sending billions of dollars to Ukraine at this point now. Like,
did you see that? They found an extra 6.3 billion.
We just, accident.
An accounting error.
Like, it's not that America can't pay off student loans. It's not that that we shouldn't think, how can we rectify this problem? Because we just be accidentally sending money across the world. Like, it's not that. It's not what's right. It's just what's rational. America will spend its last dollar on guns and you know what I'm saying? And espionage and blowing stuff up. But hey, old Nancy that just took that student loan out didn't know what she was doing, and it's done ballooned into 3 times the price. We can't do nothing about her. It wouldn't be right. She need to live with her decisions.
When she was 17 years old.
She need to live with her decisions. Like, that's an American way.
It had no other, because like, what were her options at 17, 18 years old? Okay, well, she can't afford to go to college, so she has to go get a minimum wage job, and then she's struggling. She can't make ends meet on that minimum wage job, and then conservatives would go, well, you got to pull yourself up by your bootstraps and advance yourself, get an education, Well, her only option to get an education is to take out a student loan.
Right.
And now, literally, that $70,000 student loan is $360,000 that she is now a teacher and can never repay in full. And then $1,000 a month is coming out of her teacher's salary. And so now she's like right on the poverty line and struggling again. And then people would say, well, it's her fault for not picking a more high paying career. It's like, what do you want her to do? Like, she is stuck.
My wife is a pharmacist. But the thing is, the better job you get, the more expensive the education. Right?
Yeah.
That's true.
And it's so, it's not just 4 years of school, it's 8 years of school now, right? And then you gotta live somewhere, right? And you can't going to pharmacy school. You can't have a job at pharmacy school. So now you gotta say, hey, I need this loan money to help me also take care of my housing. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all, this is crazy.
The student debt stuff is, for me, that it's weird because it was actually a big reason why I left my last job, because I did marketing for a university. And I honestly really hated that my job was to convince students to go into debt for an education, because I was like, this is...
Emily, you are the problem. You are the problem. You're perpetuating a broken system.
I left, so I'm not the problem anymore.
For 3 years, you ruined countless lives.
Now, no, she's an insider.
Yeah.
She's a whistleblower.
I am the whistleblower. Yeah. But I mean, that was my job, was like to convince students, like, yeah, you do need this education. Sure, it'll take you 17 years to pay off this student loan, but like, you should do it anyway, you know? And it was just like, I actually don't agree with that. I don't think that you should get a degree that's going to take 17 years. Like, I think there's other options. And I think, I really am like so proud of my friends that didn't go the traditional college route and went, you know, to a technical school or did something else, you know, just like pursued a passion and made it a business, because I'm like, you did the right thing. Like, I mean, it was harder, I think, in the beginning, and it might be harder in the long term, but you are also not stuck with hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loans because you did the right thing, you know? And I think it's interesting seeing, it is really funny because I think about it sometimes. People talk about how Gen Z, they always joke about how like they'd rather just like be an influencer and like be famous on social media now. But I'm like, influencers are making so much money and they did not go to school for it. And like people that did go to school, maybe it's like a more steady income, but they're not making as much money. And it's like,
but the other thing too is that the education system, the 4-year system, is so archaic in some industries. For example, I feel so bad for people who have student loans for a computer programming degree, because I was watching an industry talk last night that literally they're saying within 5 years there will be no programming jobs because of AI. Like they're like if you're carrying student loans for a programming degree, man, you know, so it's like the 4-year system in this day and age where education can come from so many different sources. It's like, it's tough to rationalize sometimes.
There are, like, I mean, I think Cameron, you and I have talked about it. Like, there are college programs that offer like social media degrees, which is fine, except for the fact that literally today a new platform showed up. Yeah. So like if you graduated college in May with a social media degree, you have no idea how this platform works.
Well, useless. Listen, I don't know. So I have tons of people that always ask me about music, and they're like, yo, I want my son wants to get into music. My daughter wants to get into music. Can you give me some advice? Right. And they say, now I went to school on a scholarship. Glory to God. Thank you. I went on an academic scholarship. So I'm blessed in that way. My wife didn't, but I did. And they asked me this, you know, and I have a 4-year degree. I got a degree in recording industry management from Middle Tennessee State University. And they asked me, they say, you know, what should we do? We're thinking about sending our kid off to school. And, you know, parents, I may want to screen this before I say this, if you have your kids on the college plan. But I think college is mostly a joke. I've not one time asked a person, hey man, will you mix this song or record this video for me? But can I see your degree first? I've not asked that. You're either good at what you do or you're not. And I'll tell you when I knew it was a joke, it was when I graduated. I was working on my first album, one of my first albums. And my hard drive crashed. Sucky thing, most sucky thing in the world. I walk into the Best Buy. Now, I'm doing my career. I'm out making music. I halfway kind of played through school. Like, I made good grades, but it was because I was good at school in that way. This girl was magna cum laude. She was part of the magna cum laude group, and she was working at Best Buy. She sold me my hard drive, and that's when I was like, "Yeah, this is a joke." How many? And I know so many homies that went to school. They're like, "What are you going to school for?" I don't know. My parents told me to go here, and I got to go here and figure it out. And now they're adults with that over their head. It's a joke. It's not just the loan system. It's just the educational system in general, from higher education all the way down to the babies. It needs to overhaul. It needs to be rethought. And it needs to be thought in a way that's actually going to be beneficial for the common person. But
it's inevitable. It has to happen. It has to happen. I mean, it's an industry ripe for disruption. And look, in the last 10 years, 15 years, traditional industries have been disrupted left and right. And I think higher education is due, especially with how expensive it is. And it's just not justifiable in so many fields. So what's the last thing you have, Emily?
The last thing I have, okay, real quick before I get to this, when was the last time any of y'all bought a bottle of sriracha?
It's been a minute.
It's one of those condiments I feel like you have, but you never recall when you purchased it or how it ended up in the pantry. Like, I don't ever remember buying it once, but I know I've always had it. It's you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things.
Sure,
I think when you buy a house, it just comes in the back of one of the cabinets.
It comes with it. Yeah.
Sriracha is great. I mean, it's a good flavor. It's a good hot sauce, right?
Yeah.
It's good.
Sure.
Well, let me ask you this.
Sriracha.
How much would you be willing to pay for a bottle of sriracha?
$3-4.
Tops.
Yeah.
Tops.
Yeah.
It's just a hot sauce.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but it's currently going for $70 online.
Ain't no way.
Yeah. So sriracha sriracha is in a shortage right now. It's been for a couple months. So if you haven't been able to get it at a store, that's why. But people that are able to get it have been reselling it on eBay and other online sites. And they pretty much start around $30, but some have gone up to $70. And it's
one
just
bottle of sriracha.
One bottle,
insane.
just a standard bottle of sriracha going for $70. Would you pay $70?
No. How addicted to something do you have to be that you would pay $70?
Well, Derek was talking about how much he loves it, but would he be paying $70 for it?
No. Listen, Derek, you know what else Derek loves? Derek loves saving his money too.
Saving his money.
I love $67.
Right. I could think of tons of things I could spend my $67 on besides hot sauce.
This does feel like a good time to get all like you were talking about, like the little packets that you maybe get with like when you order food and just save up on those, squeeze those into a bottle. There you go. You got sriracha.
Make you some money, you know what I'm saying? Pay off that student loan.
$70.
There's a sriracha shortage. Two crises in this buzz. The student loan crisis is no end in sight. Equal magnitude, and sriracha's in shortage. All right. Well, for more stuff like that, check out relevantmagazine.com every weekday, where we're covering the intersection of life, faith, culture, and everything in between. Thanks, Emily. All right, stay tuned. Up next, Social Club Misfits join us.
Hey kid, look what Yahweh did. Talk to me like I'm rich, I ain't gotta ice my wrist. Living water, that's my drip. Homie, please don't slip. Told devil we ain't friends. Stop trying to talk to the kid. Switch up, that don't make sense. But maybe that's cause I'm rich. Baby, I'm.
Hey, Billy, God sent me this pack. Can I get hotter if we made the track with Sodom in the back? If it didn't come from the tribal, then it's probably gonna be whack. I know he proud of me. I mean, I'm in the bottom of my bag.
You're listening to Indie Tribe, No Big Deal, and John Keith. The song is Rich. Well, today's show is brought to you in part by the new book, God, the Science, the Evidence. We talk a lot about faith, but how often do we talk about science in the same breath? You might be surprised to discover just how deeply the two actually agree. For centuries, science has been used to dismiss the idea of God, but today an intellectual revolution is underway. Modern discoveries in physics, cosmology, and biology are consistently revealing the same truth: creation isn't an accident. That profound reversal is what engineers Michel-Yves Bolloré and Olivier Bonassi investigate in their international bestseller, God, the Science, the Evidence. This book is a rigorous, evidence-based critique of materialism, inviting you to explore over a dozen scientific, philosophical, and historical domains. It shows that what was once seemed impossible, that science could point to a creator, is now supported by a vast and convergent body of evidence. With over 400,000 copies sold in Europe, this book is sparking a global debate. It's thoughtful, fascinating, and a powerful reminder that reason itself affirms the existence of God. Learn more and find out where you can purchase your copy today by visiting godthesciencetheevidence.com. Our guest today is Marty from Social Club Misfits. Marty's a friend of the show. If you heard like a month and a half ago, he sat in for 2 shows. He's joining us to talk about Social Club's latest album, Everybody Loves a Comeback Story, the Platinum Edition. He spoke with Emily about how Social Club is pushing the boundary on what Christian music can sound like and how he's inspiring other artists to do the same. Here's our conversation with Marty from Social Club Misfits.
going good to great. 10 kid throw it up. I did it for myself. You were not discussed. Took it to the face.
Social Club's new album.
Yeah,
Platinum Edition is out.
Excited about it.
It's been out for like 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's been actually 2 weeks, I guess. Yeah, no, it's been 1 full week. Probably when this comes out, it'll be 2 weeks. Yeah, but it's been exciting. Okay. I mean, it's been really cool. It's funny. It's like, remember as a kid when you really, what I'm realizing, let's go a step further back. What I'm realizing is like my humor is based a lot in nostalgia, right? And I guess our whole generation feels like that. So when I was a little kid, I used to leave the TV on and then I'd be woken up with, "This is the rhythm of the night," you know, and it'd be like platinum hits. So that was the idea, was the old, you know, you'd be woken up by platinum hits on available, and it'd be like, there's a commercial that we were trying to make actually with, but we couldn't get the license for, like, all of our ideas. There's too big. So I was trying to get Michael W. Smith, Natalie Grant. I could get Natalie, but Amy Grant, some of these people, and then make like our own version and then cut in the Social Club music video for like the platinum edition, you know? And so those commercials back in the day for us, we'd always laugh about it. So we were like, let's make a dance album, and then let's call it the platinum edition, and we'll make it, that'll be like the marketing behind it. But really the reason why we made that album, to be completely honest with you, is because in Europe, our music's doing really, really well. And one thing I've learned about Europe is that they want to sing, they want to dance, and they want to do something when the music comes on. And in America, we just want to like listen to it and be like, oh man, like this is incredible. But sometimes overseas, it's like they just want to dance and sing, and they don't even know the words, but they'll be able to sing the melody and stuff like that. And so we were like, let's just make a full blown like Europe pitch with this new project. And so we did that, and it's funny enough, it's like we were number one in France, number one in we're number one right now in Australia, like the oddest countries. We're just like, it did really, really well. In Africa, we did really, really well. All these random, like in Egypt, the album was number one. So to me, I was like just laughing about it, how, you know, it worked out. But in America, we don't care. Like, we only care about what's happening here. The Pink Tape, you know, Uzi Vert. But in Europe, they process music a lot different. So we wanted to make an album that sounded good enough for, you know, them to play in a club, I guess. Platinum edition.
Yeah, it's so cool because I really can't think of a single, like a Christian artist making like a house music dance album like that. Like,
I know. That was the hardest part, actually, because we couldn't find any other artist. Like, who does that? Nobody. We couldn't find another person like to reach out. So luckily there's this artist named Jimmy Rock, who's one of the first guys who are really trying to do it. And he's more of it's funny because he's a mainstream DJ going into Christian industry because he has a heart for God now. And in a lot of ways he gets rejected by the Christian industry, but in the mainstream he's doing great. Like, he's opening up for like every concert you could think of, but in the Christian industry he gets no love. So I reached out to him. I was like, Jimmy, I would love for you to help me so he connected me to two guys, and then he produced the song. So, and actually started a lot from him. He kept sending me ideas. He's like, can I get the acapella, can I play it? And then he'd send me a beat back. So Jimmy Rock was an artist that it's like an EDM Christian artist, but he's the only guy I know who does that, does like dance music. Like, who else does dance music? I don't know. It's weird. And in mainstream, it's everywhere. We all do, you know, we all listen to it.
Going in, they saying oops, they did it again, and I got my arms stuck in the rim. Are you surprised? I came to win. I came to body and get revenge. You know where to find me, I'm locking in. I don't know how many.
when you came up with this idea, were you like nervous that someone was just gonna like flat out say no and like push back against it?
Yeah, to be honest with you, yeah. I mean, luckily, Capital CMG, they're really supportive to us when we want to do things, and they try to make it work. So, like, the team there would be like, "Hey, we're gonna work on this and see what we could do." But then I see all that stuff. I mean, this is me being completely transparent right now, but like, I even see the numbers and stuff like that, and I'm like, man, we don't really get the support that we would get by dropping a song like a War Cry or something that's more in the CCM world. And I get that because, it's already carved out the idea. If you do that, we know where it's going to work. But for dance music or even for hip hop in general, it's like hip hop it's very much looked down upon. I think it might be looked down upon because of how easy it is to create. People think it's easy, and there's so much of it. When there's a lot of something, it's like, it's whatever, it's not a big deal. But I feel like when it comes to what we do, I feel like we fulfill a position that's needed in the church, right? The church needs a position where somebody could be a disruptor, push culture a little bit forward. And as Social Club, we've always tried to do that. We've always tried to be the guys who take the first step. Like, we were having this conversation the other day on the radio where, most of the artists that we have contributed to or been a part of in their career on the early stages of like NF, or a guy like Foggy Raw, who's blowing up right now, has a song with Alicia Keys. And then we before anyone was doing features with NF and certain artists, we would always reach out to them first because we love like the up and coming generation. What's new? What's upcoming? And a lot of them are like, yo, we listen to you. So now it's like a full circle moment. But we're finding out that it's very difficult to transition into anything that's just not the standard, CCM fit. It's really difficult, to be honest with you. And then a lot of artists, they don't want to do that. They're like, hey, I don't want to push the culture forward. I want to do whatever I want to do. And maybe if it works on mainstream, I'll jump over. So I've realized that some artists are like, I'm not even getting love in the Christian space, but I'm getting more love in the mainstream. And it looks different, but I'm getting that. So it's interesting to see, like, we're all, like, for me and Fern, it's not that we want the attention of the industry. It's that we know that in 10 years, there's going to be a bigger conversation of like, who is going to take the mantle? And so that's been heavy on my mind for years. It's like, when there's no more Toby Mac, when there's no more Casting Crowns, when these guys just want to retire, who is going to be the people that are going to be pushing forward Christian music? And I hope that there's going to be someone there. But imagine Christian radio closing down, like all these outreaches, all these things that we do now that there's so much money in it. Think about before streaming started, there was a huge influx of radio and different companies, and then streaming took over, and it's like, all right, they're gone now. Now it's the strongest survive. So to me, it just feels like we're doing something because we're passionate. We love Christian music, but we also know that there's a power in Christian music and to spread a message of Jesus in a cool way that I feel like we're dropped, the industry as a whole, when I say we are, but I feel like we're dropping the ball on that.
DJ Laz, and I got my boys, the social Club Misfits. They decided to take it old school Miami style. So I want you to repeat after me.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting too, seeing how like social media has changed. Like you said, Nick D, like he doesn't tour, but he still has like so many fans because he's like connected with them on social media.
Him, and they buy the album. Yeah, and they buy the album from him, and they support him because they like what he does. Whether it's, I think that again with hip hop is the only deranged genre, right? So the younger you are, the cooler you are, the older you are. This is just the genre talk. It's like the older you are, the uncooler you are, which is crazy because in country and pop, they respect people as they get older. Like Justin Timberlake dropped an album, Man in the Woods, and no one was like, he's so old. If anything, they were like, he doesn't sound like he was with Timberland. Like, it's a musical issue. And so I feel like in hip hop, it's like there's an ageism there that's really difficult to deal with. And then if you add the Christian name on top of it, it's even more difficult because there's so much less of us, and we're trying to preach the gospel in a way, but at the same time reach people who aren't believers. So like we have a mission attached to it. It's a much different conversation, and there's a lot of shifting that needs to happen. And since 2016, I've been having this conversation, even with the head of the label, like what's the next move? And so no one really knows, but I just know that you need a Bruno Mars to come after a Michael Jackson, right? You need someone to fill that gap of who's gonna take the reins of these people. I don't know. And so I don't know if it's gonna be Maverick. I don't know if it's gonna be some worship team. I really don't know, because it just seems like the industry is so quickly changing, and independent artists are taking like Nick D is doing better than most of the artists on major labels, and so it's an interesting conversation. And again, but if you own your audience, and your audience will follow you, it doesn't matter. Like for us, whether we are signed or not, we have misfits who, like, I will know how many misfits want to buy an album first week. Like we just know already. It's like we come from an era, we've been doing this for 10 years. New artists, it's a whole different ball game. there's a lot more to choose from, and they didn't buy an album when they were, in high school. It didn't work like that for them. So.
Finally see a little bit of success, but lose my grandma. It's all a lesson, gotta learn to love no matter what. And we ain't on no status quo, we came to lift the status up.
That was Social Club Misfits. Make sure to check out their new album, Everybody Loves a Comeback Story, the Platinum Edition. It's out now. All right, stay tuned. Up next, it's your feedback. You're listening to Blonde Redhead. The song is Melody Experiment. Well, today's podcast is brought to you in part by the new book, Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic. Author Jonathan Seidel knows firsthand how even believers can get stuck in shame and destructive habits, especially when it comes to one of society's biggest obsessions, alcohol. In Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic, he details his spiral into disordered drinking and shares the 4-step process he eventually used to break free. There's hope for alcoholics who become Christians and for Christians who become alcoholics. Find Confessions of a Christian Alcoholic wherever books are sold. What if you could change a child's life with just $10? Right now, thousands of vulnerable children in East Africa are suffering from jiggers. It's a painful, preventable parasite that burrows into their feet. Soul Hope is the only organization treating it through foot washing, medical care, and durable closed-toed shoes that protect kids long after treatment. $10 may not seem like much in today's world, but when we come together, those small gifts add up to big change. Join the 10 for 10 campaign. $10 protects 10 small toes. Visit soulhope.org/10 to give now. One small gift makes a big difference. Again, that's soulhope, SOLE, hope.org/TEN. Okay, it's time for your feedback. Last week, we got talking about Jesse's shady truck sale where he Facebook stalked the buyer of his beat up old pickup truck and found out that the guy's a Christian. And so Jesse, to rig the sale, tuned the truck's radio station to the Christian station. So when he took it for a test drive, so we asked you.
He paid cash after that. I did nothing. Nothing unethical, but he did pay cash right there in the driveway.
We got to pay these loans back somehow.
And then we talked about, like, in high school, I'd get pulled over for a ticket and I would tell the officer that I was just coming from church and I was like, and all that stuff to get out of the ticket, So we asked you online, have you ever done something to seem quote unquote more Christian to get something you want? Like what Jesse did or what I do to get out of tickets. And so what'd you do? You hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast. Oh, we're going to have to evolve that, Emily. We're going to have to do a threads for this as well.
Oh, yeah. Find us on Threads for this next week's question.
Yeah, we'll just pivot. Anyway, you hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast, and here's a few of our favorites of you fake Christians.
Rachel says, I left class early in college for Bible study. That was not, then ellipses, ... That was not for several hours later. I wanted to get food before something technically not a lie. You did go to Bible study. It was just not the reason you had to leave. Good for you, Rachel.
Oh, I love Bethany's. She said, our pastor's wife got pulled over for speeding. When the cop looked at her license, he asked, oh, are you Reverend so-and-so's wife? She proudly said she was, expecting to get out of the ticket. He replied, I pulled him over for speeding an hour ago.
Yes.
They got matching tickets.
Yes.
Obey the laws of the land.
Is awesome.
Yeah. Respect authority.
Shout out to Nick. He says we put the Bible on a dashboard while crossing the border from Canada into the USA. and truthfully said we're going to a Christian concert. The border guard then asked us a series of questions you'd find on the third year theology exam. We thankfully passed. Sweating. You know what? But listen, that Canada-U.S. border is ridiculous. Like Canada, y'all gotta chill. Like, bro, for real. It's like, dog. All right, man. We know y'all got a cool country or whatever, but y'all gotta chill out, bro.
Hillary says, my dad told a cop during a traffic stop he was on the way to drop us off at a youth group event. He did not get a ticket that day. Hillary, you left out the most important piece of information. Were you on the way to a youth group event?
Oh, yeah.
I believe that was cap.
Or does it even matter in her eyes? Yeah.
That's funny. All right. Well, there's a lot more where that came from. You guys are just as shady as Jesse. So it's,
I did nothing shady. I did nothing dishonest. I just wanted to indicate to him that the radio worked.
You would make him more comfortable.
He's going for the test drive. I
basically, you're staging a house. You're showing the potential, your life. You could live like this. Look at you in this truck listening to Christian music.
So you can picture yourself. Exactly.
Do you remember what song was on? Like, did you recognize the song?
To be honest,
DC Talk,
a lot of them sound the same to me. So at this point, it's one amalgamation. Yeah.
It was probably a Big Daddy Weave.
Hey, chill out.
Can't be.
I know it was worshipy. I know it was worshipy. Yeah.
Mercy me coming in strong. Okay, it's time for this week's
Editorial question of the week. Hey.
All right, earlier in the show we were talking about Musk and Elon and Zuckerberg, having their boxing match, and we were saying we need to raise the stakes. So, like winner take all, basically sort of thing. All right. So what we want to know is, what two people would you like to see battle, and what would the stakes be? Like, what two notable people? We don't want like your mom and your sister, but like, what two notable people would you like to see battle, and what would the stakes be?
Unless your mom and sister are notable people, like.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Right. If you're the Duggars, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or like the Kardashians or something. Yeah.
Yeah, then it's all right.
Yeah, if any of the Kardashians are listening.
You can reply your mom and your sister. Yeah. Okay, so hit us up on Twitter at Relevant Podcast. Hit us up on Threads at Relevant Magazine, and we'll read our favorite answers on next week's show.
Example. John Piper v. Rob Bell. Winner gets the royalties to like old Numa videos. Well, we're in for it. We're going to see it. I think
royalties. Are people still buying Numa DVDs?
It's a low stakes fight. It's a low stakes fight.
Wait, what's Numa DVD? Sorry.
Okay. So in the 2003 to 2009 range, Rob Bell was just a local pastor in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But there were some wealthy people in that congregation named the DeVosses who own the Orlando Magic. And some of them loved Rob's teaching and was like, hey, they helped fund a video series called Numa, where it was like these Rob Bell giving basically sermons, but like walking around in a city, or like, it was just like an interesting cinematic way for Rob to share scripture and teaching and stuff like that. And it made Rob like a household name in the 2000s. So it's called Numa. That was the series.
Yeah,
so anyway.
Like I said, low stakes fight, but I'd watch, even though Piper is considerably older. I feel like he's very spry. I feel like he's a spry guy. I don't think I'd want to get the
you gonna make that old man get beat up on TV,
like,
bro.
He goes like this. He goes, hold on, just one sec. I just need to tie my shoes before I fight. I'm like, okay, take your time. He picks up sand and throws him in my eyes. Yeah! And then, I feel like
he's squirrely. He jumps on you.
There's a lot of tricks.
Yeah.
My eyes!
He's wily. Yeah.
Yeah, a known trickster.
All right. Well, before we wrap things up, I want to thank Social Club Misfits for joining us. Make sure to check out their new album. It's called Everybody Loves a Comeback, the Platinum Edition. It's out now. Also, if you haven't checked out the summer issue of Relevant, we're still rolling it out. We're still posting and sending emails. We're still letting everybody know about it. So if you haven't seen the new issue of Relevant yet, go check it out. It's available at relevantmagazine.com. You can click on the magazine tab. We have an amazing cover story with Lauren Daigle talking about her incredible new album. We also have Arizona, Drew Holcomb, Naomi Rain, so much more. It's available for free. You can see it right there on the website. If you want to see the beautifully designed enhanced edition, it's part of Relevant Plus. You can sign up for Relevant Plus and get ad-free reading, unlimited reading at the website, an ad-free version of this podcast, an exclusive weekly subscriber podcast, and the beautiful digital edition as well. You can find out all the information by clicking the Relevant Plus tab right there at relevantmagazine.com. Plans start as low as $250 a month. It's the best way to experience our content. Go check it out. Also, make sure to follow us on the socials. We're on Twitter. We're on Threads. We're on Threads. We're on IG. We're on Facebook, all of them. It's the best way to stay in touch with everything we're doing. We're posting it all there. If you don't have time for all the social stuff, you can sign up for our daily newsletter. We send the top 5 trending stories from our site to your inbox every weekday morning. You can find out all the information and sign up for our newsletter right there on the Relevant homepage or on any article page. It's on the sidebar, relevantmagazine.com. Okay, on that note, we'll wrap it up. I'm Cameron Strang.
I'm Jesse Carey.
I'm Emily Brown.
I'm Derek Miner.
We will see y'all on Tuesday. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Thanks for listening to the Relevant Podcast. Check out our features, interviews, and news updates every day at relevantmagazine.com. And make sure to follow Relevant on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest. For more great podcasts, browse the shows on the Relevant Podcast Network, which you can find at our site. And while you're there, don't miss the all-new era of Relevant Magazine. A new issue releases every other month at relevantmagazine.com.
It's not flattering anyway. It's a lot of blood rushing to the face, swelling it up a little.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care. Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.